Joining us now is the leader of the Facebook group, Detroit Area Formula Finder, Heather Chestnut. Heather, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So first of all, you are the leader of this group. This group was formed just a few months ago, but very quickly, within just a few weeks of it being formed, it had over 2,000 people in the group. Were you the founder of this group? Or were you part of a group that did find this? And really, what was that inciting incident that led you or that group to decide we want to bring all these parents together to try to help resolve this issue for all these parents?
Yeah, so I started the group on May 15th. I launched it myself. I was seeing in a lot of mom groups that individuals were scrambling and trying to find formula to no avail. And I wanted to create a centralized location where those caregivers could find formula and also where we could empower other individuals to jump in and help. So things like a normal grocery trip, being able to go to the formula aisle, snap a photo of what was in stock in real time, because what we were finding was a lot of individuals were driving from 5, 6 plus different stores just trying to find the formula that they were looking for.
And then, so for you, when did this really strike for you, the formula shortage and the issues that mounted because of it? When for you was that point where you realized this is a big problem? If it's a problem for me, it's probably a problem for many other mothers and many other fathers out there.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, seeing all those posts just accumulating in so much mass, I had to formula feed my son in 2020, and there were some shortages then due to supply chain issues, but nothing to this degree. And seeing the frantic nature of, I am literally on my last can. If I do not find this formula, I have no way to feed my baby, is a very terrifying prospect.
And so as you're navigating that, and as these other parents in the group, these are thousands of people that are in this group that are helping each other to manage this. You all know that there's a shortage of baby formula. You all know that there are going to be certain stores and certain places that are going to have a limited supply and other places that are going to have none. But in some cases, there's just simply not going to be formula available. What are some of the other ways, besides maybe just pointing out where some of these locations are that have available formula, that parents were able to help each other through this Facebook group?
Yeah, so one of the ways that we surprisingly found a lot of formula was individuals receiving formula samples from the companies. So a lot of times they get, a list of who's expecting, they send out a sample because they're trying to create that brand loyalty. And if a parent didn't need a formula feed, they shoved it in the back of the pantry, forgot about it. And as this was coming up, we were saying, hey, check and see if you have any of these samples. And that was how we were able to get quite a few to individuals in need.
So it wasn't just parents that currently are feeding formula to their babies. It was parents that either recently had babies or and they're no longer on formula, or they're weaning them off of the formula, that were really helping each other out all together.
Yeah, we have a lot of people in the group that aren't even using formula. They're grandparents. There are all sorts of individuals that aren't looking for formula, that just want to make sure that they're jumping in to help. So, what started as I'm at Meijer right now, and here's a photo of what the inventory looks like, turned into, I'll help drive this, or I saw this here and I can go pick up for you. Because with gas prices the way they are, it is very limiting to individuals too, to be able to afford to drive to all these different locations hunting it down.
Knowing that this is such an important issue in the Detroit area, and that Detroit is such a large city and has such a large metropolitan population as well, was there any help that did end up coming into this group from Facebook or from Meta, being that it was such a large group, and it is such a large group for such a critical issue?
Yeah, so I mean, it wouldn't have been possible without these social media platforms. So being able to, for example, there's free formula donation sites too that we're partnered up with. There's Honey for Moms in Ferndale. There's Rise Wellness Collaborative in Ann Arbor. They both have free formula donation sites. So if somebody has formula or finds it in a store and wants to donate, this is an accessible location, and they post their inventory daily on Instagram. So we're using Instagram stories to go grab what they have. Rather than them having to drive around and hunt down this formula.
That's remarkable that this is going on and that there's been this level of help from such a large population of people, especially when there's a crisis like this that in some cases, in some people's mind, you might think it's going to create more competition, but in this case, it created such a helpful group of people. We're joined by Heather Chestnut, leader of the Facebook group Detroit Area Formula Finder. You had something to say there, Heather?
I was just going to say the other piece we're seeing is huge inequities too with WIC benefits and whether somebody can find the formula they need and being able to use those benefits. So that's where the group has really become helpful as well.
We're joined by Heather Chestnut, the leader of the Facebook group Detroit Area Formula Finder, joining us on the Megacast. You can learn more information by visiting them at facebook.com/groups/Detroit Area Formula Finder and join their over 2,400 members that are already in the Facebook group. Heather, now that the Abbott Nutrition Factory is back open, now that the baby formula shortage, it's still going on, but it's maybe not as severe as it was several weeks ago, certainly in the last couple of months. How has the group evolved to continue to provide that help, but maybe in a different way, knowing that the shortage itself may not be the primary problem when it comes to baby formula anymore?
So we were seeing a little bit of an uptick when that plant reopened, but they did recently just close again with all this rainy weather in Michigan striking the last few weeks. They had massive flooding and had to pause production. So we're kind of back at square one again with not seeing that inventory hit. And the real issue is that the Sturgis, Michigan plant, they produce about 25% of formula for the whole United States. So that's a massive impact.
And so you mentioned earlier the disparities, particularly with those that are accessing WIC benefits, because WIC benefits cannot be used to purchase baby formula online. Can you talk about that disparity and how widely that affects so many parents and their ability to get what is vital formula for their kids? And despite that being so vital, it's something that these benefits for vital needs don't support.
Yeah, so WIC benefits cannot be used, like you said, all online. So when a retailer like Amazon, Target, Costco, when they get their inventory online and other families are able to quickly act while that's in supply, and I can tell you also that goes out of stock very, very quickly, it's leaving behind a whole group of people that can't take advantage of that formula. And then there's a lot of stores that just don't take WIC in person as well. So Costco being one of them. Target supposedly takes WIC benefits, but I can tell you from our members in the group, they're often being turned away by Target employees telling them that they cannot use those benefits. So there's a lot of confusion as well. And the stores that get a majority of the formula right now that we're seeing the most stock of are those big box stores that don't take the benefits. So it's really leaving people behind. And like we talked about with gas prices, if you're already needing to rely on a benefit like that and finances are tough, having gas at almost $6 a gallon, you just can't afford to go drive from store to store to store trying to find it. So we've really been focused on prioritizing those that are using WIC benefits and trying to find them local resources, get them connected to formula that are donations so it's free, to help bridge that gap that we're seeing.
And Heather, earlier on you had mentioned that for so many of these parents, they're looking for baby formula in these different locations. They know that some formula is available in some of these locations, but they have brand loyalty and they may not be interested in going to these stores to pick up the formula that is available. Can you speak to that? Because it's not just brand loyalty that is a factor in parents having baby formula available to them in a nearby store. There are other factors that go into that people that aren't parents, that aren't feeding their babies formula may not understand.
Yeah, so I mean, the brand loyalty, switching your baby from formula to formula, it can cause a lot of GI distress, reactions, and then we have people too that they cannot use a different formula because they might be using a hypoallergenic formula for a medical reason, where they're just simply not able to go use an alternative. So the individuals that have the ability to switch formula They do, but it's definitely not an ideal situation because of that stomach distress and a baby in pain. And so it's creating so much stress for these caregivers that they can't feed their baby when they find an alternative, and they're just willing to take anything so they have a way to feed their baby, but it's causing issues. It's very, very heartbreaking to witness.
So we're joined by Heather Chestnut. She is the leader of the Facebook group Detroit Area Formula Finder, joining us on the Oakland County Megacast. You can learn more information by visiting facebook.com/groups/Detroit Area Formula Finder and join the over 2,400 people already in this Facebook group. And for those that are interested in joining, they are parents, or they just want to be helping these parents in the local area. What are the mechanics of the group? How do people properly participate to be as helpful as possible with the way that the group is currently set up?
Yeah, so anyone is welcome to join. I would say one of the misconceptions of individuals who are like more here to help, not necessarily in the group, but just as a whole, is, oh, there's a formula shortage and I see formula and I grab it off the shelf because maybe somebody will need it. But that's taking it away from a parent that might be going to that store and looking for it. So while it's done with the best intentions, we ask that unless somebody has a specific person in mind, they prearranged to pick up for that individual, to leave the formula on the shelves. If they are out at a store and can just snap a photo of the formula aisle and say the store name and the location, so like Target in Southfield on 12 and this street, and that's really helpful so someone knows in real time, because we are finding that online inventory of a store often doesn't match what's in stock in an actual store. So like Meijer, for example, they'll say, hey, this formula is in stock, but if you actually went to the store, it's not there. So that real-time information is very helpful. For caregivers that are looking to join, they can say where they're located, what formula they're looking for. We have a lot of different posts for specific hard to find formulas, or if someone's using WIC benefits. So open to anyone to join.
Facebook.com/groups/Detroit Area Formula Finder is the website. Again, Facebook.com/groups/Detroit Area Formula Finder, or just go to Facebook.com, click on the groups link, and then there's going to be a search option under Facebook groups in order to find the group, and you'll search Detroit Area Formula Finder, and you can join them that way. Heather, just another couple minutes with you before we'll say goodbye. Anything else about the Detroit Area Formula Finder we haven't discussed yet today that would be important for our audience to know or keep in consideration?
Yeah, so we talked about a lot of people finding those samples in their cabinet. So that was another great call to action, is if you maybe think you have one of those samples, received a box from one of the companies like Enfamil or Similac, checking your cabinets for them, that would be amazing, because we really have been able to help a lot of people with those small samples. And the other thing is just, it's been amazing to watch among the shortage that it can be a very distressing situation, but seeing the ways that the community has come together, we're helping hundreds and hundreds of people every single day. We have a post called Last Can for someone that is literally going to be out of formula within the last 24 hours, and those are our most urgent, pressing cases. We're usually able to close out every single one of those by the end of the day and connecting someone with formula. We go to work to help those individuals find it. So we are here as a resource for anyone that needs it, to get through this public health crisis.
Heather, thank you so much for joining us and telling us more about the Detroit Area Formula Finder. Appreciate it.
Thank you.